44.
Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it. Iceberg, he don't show them skills. I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. I work the wheel. They mad up inside the circle tight, yeah. That you see. No, they want to kill for me, nigga. Watch yourself. They said you been in beach. Oh, lately, you is nice. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the skin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney strings coming like we coming. You can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we run it. Bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like a Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills. How I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. How I work the wheel. Oh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and still. I heard they want my life. I ain't worried, I got rape for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, you know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Nigga, I'm joking. I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that eco line into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in that attic like they right. They had that shit on lock until I snapped on them like ball cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See, I'm throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gonna show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the gut, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show the skills. How I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. How I work the wheel. Oh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and still. Yeah, they want my life. I ain't worried. I got rape for real.
Because I'm willing to fight. Universal and practical knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General YAHANNA is calling for all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Right. Shalom. Shalom. Welcome to our TikTok viewer. Shalom, Chupa. How you doing?
Shalom. Adawan. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shaiba, Rakatah, sir.
Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shaiba, Rakatah. Clap it up. Clap it up, clap it.
The water for having
All right,
me
the
on.
water for coming through, you know. All right. No sweat, no sweat. All right. To our TikTok viewers, Welcome to the conflict zone. To TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Welcome to the conflict zone. All right. This week, now we're talking about. You ever see what I don't know the name that you use. Which state you in again? New York?
Atlanta, Adawan.
Super.
Oh, Georgia.
Atlanta. Right. So what you call persons who sell on the streets in Atlanta?
A hustler.
Hustler. I mean, like persons who might have what do you call it? Who might come through with
stolen goods.
No, not the stolen goods, not the stolen goods.
Okay.
Like persons might buy things and sell it. Hold on. Hey, Shalom. Damon, we're on now, we're live. So
the hookup man.
All right, no sweat. You can stay on. You can listen on your phone here if you wish. All right. So Tupa, you say what do you call them? Hustlers.
The hustlers. The hookup man.
All right. In Jamaica, we call them higglers.
Okay.
You ever heard that term?
La sir.
Higgling. You ever heard the term higgling?
La.
Okay. All right. So that's something which our people do a whole lot of that. Higgling.
Okay.
Now, higgling is then you have a next set. You have the higglers who might buy the goods locally and resell it. Then you have those who might go abroad, might go abroad and come back and sell it. But the fact is, they all sell on the streets.
Okay.
Now, you have a set that they used to call ICIs, meaning informal commercial importers, which it was dominated mainly by our people. Not only our people as ICI, but our people had dominated that. In other words, our people had found a niche back in the days. Not so long, probably 80s, 90s, they found out that they could travel abroad and buy stuff and come back and sell on the streets. Some used to sell it from their car trunk. Some started, rent shops and, put goods in the shops and things. But the way in which it was imported, they used to pay less, little taxes. And then, they start thriving it started thriving as a business. And guess what coming after it start to thrive? Guess.
The oppressor.
That's true, yes, the oppressor, but in what way you think it come true?
Okay. So you said
taxes.
Con. That was my next.
It's like repeat.
I was Salaki, sir. I was gonna say that was my next. That was the next thing I was gonna say.
Right. So they start taxing. So in other words, you go out and I mean, why you think they start doing that? You know, life is trying to battle the challenges of life, basically financial challenges of life, and they were able to do so through another term that they use it for out here.
Salaki, sir. You froze. You froze, Adawan. You're in the matrix.
Like business, they also say buy and sell. They have a buy and sell. They do buy and sell. That's what inner city people used to call it.
Come.
Because as it says, informal, it was not a formal way of doing business. The formal way of doing business is where you go and you register your business with the company's office. You register with the tax office as well. You know, you start paying taxes and things. But this was one informal way of doing business. And what the oppressor did was to say, it taxed some people out of the business.
Yeah.
Right? So much so that some people just gave up on it because the tax, all right. When you're doing formal business, you pay the taxes when you have your sale and you make money. You know, you do your returns and so on, and you pay your taxes. But this method of business now, you know how they tax them? They tax them at the point of import. So you are paying taxes once you import, you know, because they're the what do you call them? Customs. Jamaica customs. You pay at the point of entry, which means if you don't make any money, that's your business.
Yeah.
You see the cruelty of it.
Come, sir.
Yeah, if you go now and you register a formal business and you never make any money, you don't pay taxes. But this business, which was the ICI, Informal Commercial Importers, they pay taxes at the point of entry. If you don't make any money, tough luck.
It's cruel.
Right? But one of the things we're talking about, why I want to talk about the ICIs, is that it's a form of business which started in Jamaica mainly by persons who used to work in banks. Our people who used to work in banks, and you know the banks used to give them loans, especially NC. We have a bank named NCB Bank, especially NCB workers. They used to get some low interest loans or zero interest loans. But these loans was really an incentive for their performance in the bank. So in other words, they had a good year working with the bank, and the bank said, you know, we're going to lend you this amount of money at maybe 1% or 2%. Depending on the rank, maybe you might get 0%. I don't know. But they used to charge them a small interest rate just for the books, they say. And what they did with this money now was to go and they started this thing now. They would leave work on Friday evening, book a flight from Friday evening, go to Miami. Miami was one of the places they used to go, and then they start going Panama. So they go Miami or Panama, Saturday they do their shopping. They just go out in the free zones and shop, pack their barrels or bags, and by Sunday, you go to the airport and ship your things out, and by Monday morning they were back at work.
Come.
You see, this is how our people had to really hustle and think. By Monday morning they will be back at work, and when they are at work, what they would do, they carry the goods in the back of in the trunk of their car,
right,
to work. And then when they leave work in the evening, they go and do their selling. You see, isn't this a struggle? Look at it, When they go into shop, they leave. You have to work. They work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right.
And they fly out Friday evening, do their shopping Saturday, travel back home to Jamaica Sunday, and by Monday they start selling from their trunks in the back after work.
Yeah.
From their car trunks after work.
Right.
Then they start to have customers who start look out for them.
Right.
People probably could buy from them and maybe sell it back. So things start to turn around for them.
They build up a clientele.
Thank you. Now, that is how it began.
All right.
Then you have people who now come in it and don't have any other job. So they were able to sell all day. So they're not going to a day job and then sell in the evening. They're out there on the road all day. Things start to grow. More people come in it. Then they became known. I think it was the government who titled them ICIs, Informal Commercial Importers. Then the government is like, where are they getting these monies? Those incentive loans that they used to get, the government start to tax those loans.
Man.
So you can't get it at 1% again. When the government say, all right, once you lend them this money, there are some taxes that you're going to have to pay on it.
Yeah.
So of course, the bank is going to charge you, which they are lending the money, a tax.
Come.
Then I don't know, maybe they were still surviving with the tax.
Okay.
So the government now do some reform and start to tell them, all right, you cannot it's either they increase the tax or they tell them outright that you cannot incentivize the workers this way. Whichever way, it cut it out.
So
the bank workers get cut out.
So like it, sir.
Yes.
What do you mean when you say they can't incentivize their workers this week? What do you mean by that?
This way. Remember I said that it was an incentive for good performance.
Okay, right.
So in other words, now you're still working and you're performing good, but the incentive that is coming to you cannot be by a cheap interest, a low interest loan.
Gotcha.
That cut out.
Okay.
So the oppressor is always looking at ways in which to make us remain oppressed.
That's right.
And then at the same time, you're going to tell me, oh, we are trying, we are for black business, we are for black this, we are out of many one people. When the tire hit the roads, it's something totally different. Right?
Yeah, come.
When other players get in the business and they're starting to push the tax on them. So much so that I don't think it is even common right now. I haven't been hearing much about ICIs again. I know there are still persons who do it, but it's not a common business again. The taxes, drive many of them from the business.
Yeah.
I know you had some which started going straight to China themselves. Right?
Come.
And rather than shipping bales or big bags, they pool and they might ship containers.
Okay.
But how much of them can ship container?
Right. You
So you have less of our people engaging in this way of survival.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is what it really boils down to. Survival.
Come.
Now I don't know if it was those other races who were in business start squealing silently to the government and to the politicians. So yeah, hear me them eagles here mash up our business and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know is that we had a prime minister who was building a nice big enough house in an upscale neighborhood. Build a nice big house there.
Mm-hmm.
When he finished his house, a house was built next to his, bigger than his own. So I'm doing investigation. Who building house next to me bigger than mine?
Yeah.
When he find out it was an ICI that was building building a house bigger than his.
Mm-hmm.
That was when the taxes started.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But that was cruel because who says that that person made his or her money from being an ICI? During that time, Jamaica was also a transshipment point for drugs to the United States.
All right.
And that was the reality. Because this was before an era in which they went and you had a community, West Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
which they had an incursion. They call it, I forgot the formal name that the government gave it, but basically there was a so-called Don in the community, which was now wanted by the United States. And they had to go in, dismantle the garrison, hold that man, and extradite him to the United States.
Yeah.
Now, according to the United States, that man was the main one in transshipping cocaine from wherever to the United States.
Mm.
Now, by transshipping, it could be that he used some persons posing as ICIs to do the transshipping.
Right.
And I will say, look, that was the case, but I can only say allegedly.
Come.
Right. Now, it could be that it's one of those persons build that big house beside him, but guess who paid the price?
The smoke. Come.
So much so that our people always, many of our people is like back to square one, struggling,
Yeah.
hustling. Right?
Come.
Now, this warfare that we are facing as a people, it's not easy.
La.
If the enemy was dropping bombs on you, at least you could have, if you ask the Palestinians right now, who is the enemy? They can tell you.
Yeah.
But our hospitals reach a stage now where it's, when you look at what is happening with the Gaza hospitals, you look and say, oh, they are in a war. But when you look, you see the same things happen to us in our hospitals, and we are not at a physical war. So you ask the people now, who is the enemy?
They don't know.
And that's the worst kind of enemy you can have. One in which you're not able to identify.
Mm.
But he perches like a vulture, like a hawk, like an eagle, any one of those predatory animals.
Come.
He perches and he watches and he watches your progress, and then he swoops in.
And you back to square one.
Trying to put you back to square one.
Come.
You get me? Now that is the dilemma we face here in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
in the States, and basically wherever our people is. And it's unidentifiable to the Jake that is in the world. But you know who is able to identify what is happening and identify who is the enemy? Yes.
Wait, Salaki, I don't want to say that one more time.
Yes. I said to the Jake in the world,
mm-hmm.
the enemy is unidentifiable.
Right.
But you know, guess who is able to identify the enemy?
Get us in the I.S.U.P.K.
Barakata Yahweh Yahweh.
That's right.
Only in the truth,
Mm-hmm.
such an enemy is able to be identified.
Come on, sir.
And by identifying the enemy, we are now able to put the scriptures on him. We are now able to teach our people. Well, we prophesy to them. We know they don't give a damn, because as far as they're concerned, they don't want to hear anything from a nigga.
Right. Many don't hear, but some do. Some will.
But you know what is the good thing? They hear.
Come on, sir.
When they see what you had said starting to happen, then they are going to, oh, this is what Trooper Alak Ahmad was saying. This is what Officer Abadawan was saying. This is what Commanding General YAHANNA has said. You get me?
Come.
That's the good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So our people are really in a state that they are not able to find themselves out of this captivity. If it wasn't for the Spirit of Christ, this would be our final rest. If it wasn't for the Spirit of Christ. It's the Spirit of Christ and which is moving through moving in the I.S.U.P.K. We call it the Holy Spirit moving through the I.S.U.P.K., which we now have to work to bring back Christ so that he can save us from this captivity. You ever see a man having a next man in a chokehold, that grip around the neck, cannot move?
Right.
You either die or you give up. That's how the oppressor has us as a people.
Yeah.
And according to the scripture, the only way we can be saved from this captivity is through Christ. All right. So what he has told us to do, according to Zephaniah 2:1.
Come.
You got something to read from there? Or should I put it on this screen?
Got the 1611 out of 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it on the screen.
Come.
Give me a minute. So that if you don't have it, you could. Can you see that?
Come, sir.
Okay.
Zephaniah. Chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
That's talking to us. That is talking to us. He is now commanding us to pull away from this. In Jamaica, we have the national motto. I don't think in the United States you have any such thing. That they're called a motto. You ever heard the term, the word motto?
How you pronounce that? Motto?
Motto, M-O-T-T-O.
Motto. Come.
Pronounce it, say it, let me hear. Motto.
Motto.
Let me see if you could.
Now, so like if I could, Adawan.
Yeah.
The way we use it in the United States, we say like, okay, that's the model. Okay, like that's the way, or that's the example. Is that the way y'all use it?
It break a while ago. Repeat what I said.
Come on, sir. The way we use it, the word in
repeat
in America, we be like, that's the model, or meaning like that's the way, or that's meaning that's the example. Oh,
yeah, super.
Oh, Salaki.
Yeah, repeat what you said. Repeat what.
Okay.
Yeah, repeat what you were saying.
Okay, you know what? If I what came to my mind is you may be saying model, M-O-D-E-L. Oh, but no, you said M-O-T-T-O.
Right.
Okay, let me get the definition real quick if I could, to make sure that we're on the same page. Let me see, M-O-T-T-O. Okay, so it says model, a sentence, phrase, or a word inscribed on something as appropriate to or indicative of its character or use. And then gives an example. Okay, then here's the second definition. It says a short expression of a guiding principle. And here's an example. It says, hope for the best and prepare for the worst is my motto.
All right. So we're on the same page.
Okay.
So in Jamaica now, we have a motto that says, out of many, one people.
Oh, Khan, many, one people. Okay, so if I could, Adawan, I would say that yes, the way you all use it is the same way that we use it over here.
Right. So our motto in Jamaica, out of many, one people. So what Zephaniah is saying, takes you, the scripture does not endorses any such thing out of many. When you read it was in the book of Maccabees where the Grecian king made a declaration in our land, well, across his province, that all should be one.
Right.
He made a declaration that all should leave their religion and follow the way of the king.
That's right.
All right. Do I need to go to it? Go to that?
Salaki Adawana, I know exactly the verse that you're speaking about.
In Maccabees.
Kamakan, sir.
Right.
And that's if I could, Salaki, sir.
Yeah.
So to me that sounds like Hellenization.
Right. By the Grecians.
Kamakan. So, okay.
What's the scripture you have in mind? Maccabees 1.
Would it be First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41?
That sound like it. Yeah, it's somewhere weird on there. Let me hear it.
Kamakan, sir. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Thank you. Water.
Ayanaba, sir.
That's it. That's what our motto in Jamaica is saying. Out of many, one people. And all people take it and run with it, thinking that, oh, this is clever, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. This came from as far back as the Grecians, which was used to destroy us and is being used today to destroy us.
Okay.
There is no one policy that could come up that is going to be beneficial to us who has been enslaved, and at the same time be beneficial to these other nations that were never enslaved for the past 400 years.
Okay.
And our God know that. Hence, he tell us, gather yourself together. Gather
Right.
together, O nation not desired. So the Most High is saying, these nations don't love you. They tax you into oblivion.
Right.
They kill you at will. They don't want you at their parties. They don't want you around.
Right.
You are not desired. You are not one people with these people. That's what Zephaniah 2:1 is saying. And he's saying, we, with a common background, who the Most High choose as his people, should come together as one. We are the ones who should come, all 12 tribes. We are the ones who should be coming together as one.
Right? Come.
Right. So ICI is now. What happened after ICI is we start seeing the Chinese coming in and setting up shops and selling the things that the ICIs used to import.
Forget about it.
And it passed our people like this. Oops. They sell clothes, they sell everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they would say, well, we make it in China. You come and you come up here and buy it from us. Why not let us bring it down? That's it. So that is why here in the conflict zone we bring these things out. The war that these nations hold against, well, perpetuate, because it's not just today. It didn't begin 400 years ago. It began before that. It's just a matter of if the Mosai is with us so that it doesn't work, or he is not with us, hence it works. And that's why our people are in the dilemma that they are in right now. All right, we're going to read some of the articles. I don't, well, let me see the time. All right. There is one. ICI is upset with new custom fees. Let me see this one. All right, use this one. Can you see that?
Come on, sir.
Okay. So the ICIs were the informal commercial importers. This was from 2009. Chinese were coming in, but they were not as plentiful as they are now. Right? The Chinese were always here from ever since slavery ended. Well, from ever since the chains came out. They brought the Chinese in. According to them, all right, give a little history on that section of it now. When slavery ended, 18, don't hold me to it, but I think it was 1838, something there, somewhere there about. The British Empire decided to take the slaves, the ex-slaves, through what they would call apprenticeship. So they say, all right, 4 years of apprenticeship, meaning we now are, as free people, is going to now learn how to work. You still have to work, but not work and be paid. You're learning trades and so on, and they're getting paid. Their end of the bargain, the former slaveholders' end of the bargain was pay these people, pay the former slaves, so that they can now take care of themselves. You know what they did? They did not hold onto their end of the bargain. Hence, the program had to be cut short. It didn't run the 4 years because what they realized, the politicians realized in England is that basically slavery hasn't ended, and that's not what they wanted. So they ended the apprenticeship program and they replaced it with nothing. What they did after that was bringing the Chinese, bringing the Indians, according to them, to work as indentured laborers on the plantation. Then they say, oh, these people, their backs are not as strong as these blacks. Well, by then they were saying Africans, they weren't saying Hebrew slaves. But these other nations, they are not as strong as the blacks. So let's compensate them, tell them thank you, bye-bye. No, that was a big generalship. The ship that was sailing then was Jinal ship. Now,
So like,
yeah,
what kind of ship, Adawan?
you know the word Jinal.
Janal?
Ginal.
I have to look that up.
Really? Yeah, look it up.
What does that mean?
So they think that, well, they were being, I don't want to say clever, but in their ways they were being, there's a better word to use than saying that they were clever. They were being the words are eluding me now. But let's say that they were just being clever. Because what happened basically, they don't want to put any lump sum of money in the ex-slaves' hands. They don't like us that much. Their goal was, man, let England go one side. We're gonna trick these people and continue to work for them. Let them continue to work for us. So in other words, when slavery was around, everyone was employed. Then when the law come in, that okay, you have to start pay them. No, we cannot employ all of them. In fact, they are lazy. We can't employ. We can't use them. We have to go and get some other people.
Right. Same thing going on today.
But those people could manage the work. So what they did was to give those persons money. You know what the Chinese did with the money, that the compensation that they got? They started shops in the communities of these ex-slaves.
Okay.
When you were a slave, you had no shops around. Now you're ex-slaves, and of course, some were being employed because they still use the blacks to cut the cane. But like in the factories where you have the machines now working and things, they put the other races there. Many of them could manage it. They pay them off. So, the monies that you get in, the Chinese capitalize on this and set up shops. Started by crediting these ex-slaves and collecting their money when they get paid. That's how they started, in Jamaica here.
Okay.
All right. When they did that, many of them, they grew, right?
Okay.
Then they start to restructure themselves and setting up one intricate, that we have some, I think in the States they call it the 501c3.
Right.
Where persons are able to donate to you and pull it back from their taxes.
Okay.
Well, the Chinese had that in Jamaica for more than 100 years now. That was one of the tools that they used to help and build charity to their people. So they formed what was called the Chinese Benevolent Society, which is still in existence today. One of the key things about the Benevolent Society, they handle disputes amongst their people. Here in the U.P.K, what do? We handle disputes among ourselves. So they were doing it while we were struggling with the aftermath of slavery. And today they are able to throw it in our face. Oh, look at the Chinese. Look at how they do business. We should learn from them. What the heck can we learn from them? They have never been in slavery. When we go to them today and we say, we are feeding our people, could you donate something? Nah. It comes from whatever they would be paying for taxes, it comes back out, but they still don't want to give it. So what is it that we should be learning from them? I don't know. This topic that we're on, ICIs, we started it as a people. They now, the same goods that is were imported and being sold on the streets and things, the same thing they have in the stores from these Chinese who come in Jamaica. So they have taken over that aspect of all the business.
Right.
Which is why I think it was probably them who started saying something to the government behind closed doors,
Right.
get rid of these ICIs, they are too much. They're on our steps right out there at the front of our stores. You understand? And they are not paying taxes as much as we do. Which is why we cannot, in the kingdom of heaven, they won't be in the congregation. No other nation will be, just the 12 tribes.
Right.
Other nations bring in their stuff, yes, but you don't own nothing up there. We can't allow that.
Right.
Because they have nothing but an impressive way, oppressive way of thinking.
That's right.
They all have an oppressive way of thinking. So we cannot allow them to have any prominence amongst us when we are again restored as a as a people governing ourselves.
That's right.
You see? So onto the story of the ICI now. This was when they started, like I said, taxing them prior to the influx of Chinese that you have now. All right, let's get into it.
ICIs upset with new custom fees. Informal commercial importers, ICIs, are howling in protest over a new fee, which is to be imposed next week by the Customs Department. News came Friday that persons planning to clear barrels shipped from overseas for Christmas will have to pay a flat clearance fee of $5,000 per barrel as of December 1st.
So you see what they did in order to tax the ICIs, they weren't able to pick because, like I said, the people got smart because what the oppression in this system here has really taught our people to do is how is to beat the system. You understand what I mean by that?
Salaki, sir, can you repeat that one more time?
I said the oppression that our people has been through and is under.
Right.
Our people has learned is, try to find a way to beat the system. Or beat the oppression. So one of the ways in which these ICIs one of the ideas that they came up with is during the Christmas time, people always send barrel to their people. This was from 2009. This is what, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. People used to send barrel to their loved ones out here, send goods to their loved one in these containers that they call barrels.
Sir.
So what the Jamaican government did through its custom, there was like a waiver on any fees at that time because the government weren't really, they're not taxing persons bringing in things for household use. But the ICIs now capitalize on that window.
Yeah.
The government cannot identify them, so the government tax everybody.
Right, I understand.
So by taxing everyone now, I mean, the ICIs were the ones who would feel it the most because their things were coming in for resale.
This gonna
Now,
tap into their profit.
right. Now, the amount at that time, 15 years ago, that was a lot of money. Right? It's not a lot now in terms of Jamaican dollars, but back then, when this story was written, that was a lot of money. And what they did, when you throw this, as a matter of fact, the tax now moved from 5. Now I think it's some 15, close to 20,000 over.
Good night.
Right. So then the ICIs had to squeal, and this article it came public in the news media because this what we're reading is from one of the major news houses in Jamaica, known as Radio Jamaica News, what we call RJR.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so continue.
Come on, sir. The Customs Department has implemented the fee in anticipation of the traditional rush to clear barrels and packages during the festive season.
Right. Says, oh, everybody's coming in. Let's make some money.
Mm.
They weren't making money all along, but they just want to get at those who are working to alleviate the pain of this oppression by going and doing some selling. Can't even call it business. Go and do some selling. So what they did, they tax everyone. Continue.
Come on, sir. But this is not going down well with ICIs.
Okay.
Spokesperson for the United Vendors Association, Brenda Christie, expressed shock that the fee is being introduced and also took the Customs Department to task for not giving adequate notice to importers.
Right. Like I said, this is an upfront tax. It's not monies that you're going to pay when you sell your goods.
Mm-hmm.
This is monies that you better find upfront to pay.
Okay.
So many of them have to go now and borrow some money with the hope of working it back.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, exactly. Continue.
Come on, sir. I will have to get our members together to go down to a customs house and lobby with Danville Walker, Commissioner of Customs, because this cannot work. It's really unacceptable. It's too sudden, she said.
Right. So in other words, they didn't have time to, there were not adequate notice given to them so that they say, oh, this is coming up. Let me put aside some money. Right. Okay. So it now would destroy some people's business.
Come.
You probably would have persons import things, not able to clear it, and then it sits in the warehouse and attract storage fee, hence putting them in more debt.
Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
Your black local politicians, they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing to stop this to stop that fee from being put in place.
What local politician? The what? Let me tell you this. These I think majority of our parliamentarians now are blacks. But it's not, and is not a problem to the oppressor because they are carrying out the bidding of the oppressor.
That's it, right? That's why then. Concert. Okay.
Right. So they are in there, just like in the States. I mean, Georgia, which is a black majority state, there's a lot of black congressmen, right?
Concert.
But if you check it out, they are probably more oppressive than even the oppressor. Because they want to look good in the eyes of the oppressor.
Right, I understand. It's,
So,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. All right, read on.
Sir. The fee applies strictly to personal effects and not commercial shipments. It does not include shipping, wharfage costs, or costs applied by the Queen's warehouse on overtime goods.
Right. So when you're shipping, these big stores that the Chinese would have, or anyone, let's say some of our people might manage to have a big store. They would not be shipping in these small quantities. So they will be shipping a 1 and 2 barrel. So their thing has to be registered as commercial shipment.
All right.
And they pay storage fee, they pay extra shipping fee, commercial costs. So the ICIs were able to beat that oppressive. No, they don't ship in those quantity and things. So if they ship as commercial, then they will be applying commercial fees to their small shipment. So they ship it as personal effect. They were trying to survive, right? But this was just like, I mean, the cop, a black man, a Jake, killing him on the street, right? It was like that. So the black politicians don't have our interests at heart, really. They have the interests of those who want to be good slaves.
Right.
And there's only one way you be a good slave, and that is to suffer in silence. In other words, pay the money, it's hard, yes, but pay the money and shut up. Suffer in silence. Don't say anything. That's being a good Christian slave. Good Christian slave.
Right.
Don't go demonstrate. Don't go do anything. Just pay. The Lord will provide.
Right.
Right. All right. Read on. Let's get
pray about it.
Right. Pray about it.
Sir. Scroll down just a little bit.
Jamaica Custom.
There we go.
We're right there. Jamaica Custom warned that.
Jamaica Customs. Right, sir. Jamaica Customs has warned that any false declaration of commercial goods as personal effects in an attempt to evade duties could result in forfeiture of goods.
So in their minds, you're trying to evade these fees so you can get rich.
Yeah.
But I pity them because that was not the case. They were looking at some of the ICIs who were making strides. And like I said, at that time, Jamaica was a transshipment point. And, they had used these people to make strides in the transshipment. So when the progress of these ICIs that was seen by the government was not from the fact that they were importing and selling. It was from other, as a matter of fact, since they have dismantled the garrison and take away that transshipment opportunity, you know, the fees are still there oppressing the people, the ICIs. So much so, like I said, I don't even see them. I don't even hear. You notice they mention an association here. This association was in the news regular. Not anymore. So the government was, maybe they were able to do it, you know, but maybe it's their way of saying, you know, get me some of that drug money legally in the system. Understand?
Come.
Yeah. But it was very unfortunate for people because now it created a gap after you tax them and you destroy the opportunity among the people. It created a void. And then the Chinese just come right in and fill it. All right, read on.
Come, sir. Last year, the Customs Department allowed all Christmas barrels and packages shipped to the country up to January 30th to be cleared duty-free.
Right. So they realized that the ICIs made they were able to make to take advantage of that duty-free offer. Yeah. But you know, when you sincerely, which is why in the UPK, you know, the businesses that we have in the UPK, we need to keep these business exclusive to the UPK. You know, we can't look and say, yeah, it is our people. So let's just, you know, teach them how to make our stuff and things. We can't take that approach because they are not in the spirit to keep the dirty money out, which would come in and destroy the opportunities that we have created for our people, and for ourselves. Because this that we're reading about the ICIs, that was what happened. They, like I said, it started from persons who were working in the banks, persons who have genuine need to alleviate their suffering. And then you are those with ulterior motive who look at this opportunity and say, oh, so yeah, why not do this? The government response to that was taxation.
Right.
So they were taxing a business that was not really there. And I haven't heard any news of them removing such tax, meaning those taxes are still there.
Salaki Adawan.
And they have destroyed that opportunity. And bam, the Chinese come in. Boops, we have lost the opportunity. The truth, we cannot allow these things to happen. So I need my UPK apparels and things. I buy it from I don't know, maybe these were made by some people out there in the world, but who do I buy it from? When it comes down for me to buy it, I buy it from my UPK people.
Damn right.
Yeah, because it's important that we keep these opportunities exclusive to us.
Right, come.
Yeah, because you know what might happen next. some one of them out there and just start making things the way we make them, sell them to everybody. Next thing, the government brand us as those people, and or say, you know, taxes on fringes, something like that. You know, tax something that is not really there.
God, I understand.
These people, you know, use these opportunities to what we call launder, you know, money laundering. Because that was what was really happening behind closed doors about what we're reading here. And the government must know that, knew that. But where is the rollback of the taxes?
So, like, sir, can you say that part again? They what?
They must have they must know that by now if they didn't know it then. But where is the rollback of the taxes? In fact, like I said, it has increased. It gone close to 20,000 now.
Yeah.
To clear one barrel.
It's stiff.
Right. All right. So there are other articles, but this one, you know, really get the point across. Yeah. All right. Give me another scripture. Deuteronomy 28.
Okay.
16 and I think 20.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
$16 and $20.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16.
No, 20. Deuteronomy 28, verse 16 and verse 20.
Oh, Salakia.
It's on the screen. You can see it on the screen.
Salakia, I don't want we're doing verse
16 and 20.
Oh, come on, sir. Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Right. So in Jamaica, we call the city town. And we call it field. The scripture we call it country.
Come.
So I think in the States you say things like suburb.
You know,
what they call the farm communities.
The dirty South.
The dirty South. Right. So that's it. So it's the city or you're in the dirty South, right?
Come.
Right. So that's what we call it is country, which you say dirty South, and town, which is the city. Well, the scripture is saying, curse we shall be in the
city,
and curse shall we be in the dirty South.
Come.
All right, verse 20.
Come, sir. Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Right. So we forsook the Lord. How do we forsake? How would we have forsaken the Lord? How do you forsake your parents? You move out their house. You don't listen to their counsel. You don't listen to them again.
Mhm.
So we forsake the Lord. Well, we didn't voluntarily leave the land. He kicked us out. But we weren't following his way. We weren't following his laws.
Right.
So he said, because of that, we are going to face cursing and vexation and rebuke. Now, rebuke, can you find the meaning of that one?
Common concept.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. I'll find it before you.
Okay, I got it out of one. I got it.
You have it in what? What's the Webster?
Merriam-Webster, sir.
Yeah, Webster. Okay. You know that dictionary is expensive in Jamaica.
What you call expensive?
The Merriam-Webster, because our English follows the British English, which is governed by Oxford. So the price of buying a Merriam-Webster dictionary here in Jamaica is exorbitant. It's expensive. The one that's available is the one that we use, known as Oxford. All right. So what does Merriam-Webster said about rebuke?
Sir. Rebuke, to criticize sharply, reprimand.
Isn't that what we face out here from the other races? Don't they criticize us basically every day?
Sir. And there's a second definition. It reads, an expression of strong disapproval.
Which means they strongly disapprove of what you do.
Yeah.
Which is why when you do something that becomes good, they find way to, as a matter of fact, take for instance, we had the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, right?
So, like it, sir, say that part again.
The world's fastest man.
Oh, the world's fastest man.
Right. Usain Bolt.
Right.
Now, Usain Bolt he makes some money, couple million US. And you know what? He put it in a institution out here. And then someone in the institution had to go and steal his money. 10 million US.
So, sir, I heard about that, and seemed like them, I know, in the States, a certain percentage is insured.
Same way in Jamaica.
I believe it's I believe it's FDIC insured for, I believe, 250,000. So what probably would be the best thing to do is to spread your money around into, and deposit it in more than one bank.
Well, I don't think that is the only amount of money he has. Maybe that's what he did. So that's one of his accounts. But the insurance does not cover things like that. What the insurance cover is if the bank or financial institution which is insured should collapse.
Oh.
Like in the States, we said some banks were going down, they require bailout.
Right.
But this one, your money got stolen. So the insurance does not come into place. the business is still there. It is still there. Now, what they realize after they're doing some research is that the government it's the government's fault in a way, in that they were not doing their regular monitoring of the institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our institutions take your money, and these things happen to your money. It's the other races that own these institutions, you know.
Right.
No one get locked up, no one go to prison, no one get shot. But you go and buy a gun from one of the oppressors' gun store. You take it to Jamaica, you have it on you, you get shot and killed. Now, both cases are illegal. It's not legal for them to steal people money. They don't get shot and killed. The man with the gun, he has his gun to do the same thing that the institution is doing, stealing their money.
Okay, come.
They both are doing the same thing.
Right. One go to jail, the other don't.
They're lucky to go to jail. Chances are you might get killed.
Mm-hmm. Come.
But they are both doing the same thing.
Right.
It's just that one is an Israelite and one is not.
Come.
Now, if the Israelite had start having financial institution and doing these things, maybe they will start shooting these people too who own these institutions, because in any case, they are going to hunt your steps. They want you.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like you. So, I mean, just like the scripture said, these scriptures can't be wrong. You're going to suffer vexation, you're going to suffer rebuke in everything that you set your hand to do. That's the reality. Right? So, repeat.
Whether you in the town or whether you in the country.
Whether you're in the town or, because I can give you stories. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll go into that next week. Some of the things that are happening to farmers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The government come up with some laws the other day. According to them,
mm-hmm.
to curb perennial larceny. But if you are trying to prevent me from prevent other person from stealing from me, why is it that when you put the law in place, it's going to affect me?
Right.
It shouldn't be me that it is affecting, right?
The law should not be at one.
Yeah. So probably next week I could look at some of the laws that they brought in recently too, that probably is going to really kill the small man in farming.
Mm.
He would be able to farm, but not to sell.
Mm.
He would have to farm and eat, because they have imposed some measures on them. All right, so that's that and that. We're going to get into a little aspect of the business plan. So each week we touch on the business plan, planning the business. This week, I want to look at
okay.
So what we reach, we're right there, funding. So I've gone through all the other what do you call it? Item aspect, I don't know. Now we're in funding.
Subtitles.
Right, subtitle funding. Now, one of the thing is about funding is, as a matter of fact, that's a key thing in starting any business. Because there will be things that you need to purchase. Which is why the ICIs were crying back in 2009 when they just imposed some money on them, which they know that they didn't plan for. The government didn't drop any warning about it.
Right.
So we say that this step will determine if your business gets started or not. You know that all the oppressions that we have gone through from the time of the judges and so it's business that caused our oppression.
How so, Adawan?
The other nations that take you as slaves, what they take you as slaves to do?
To make us work, build up their economy.
Exactly.
Okay, come, sir.
So the bottom line of our oppression is always money.
Come.
Yeah, always. When you read the Babylonian captivity, which book is it again? Well, I don't remember exactly. But
Jeremiah.
Was it? No, it wasn't Jeremiah. One of them prior to Jeremiah.
Oh, Salak.
Jeremiah. They tell you about when they probably it's in Chronicles, I think.
Okay, come.
When they came and took our priests, our smiths. You know, the smiths are the tradesmen back in the days.
How you say that?
Smith.
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 Smiths.
Right.
Is that okay? So that doesn't you're not saying blacksmith.
Blacksmith is one of them, but it's a trade. The smiths are the ones who work, I think, with irons.
Right.
Blacksmith, tinsmith, so on and so forth.
Okay. Come, sir.
Nowadays, they come in with gun. They talk about the gunsmith. Right. So the smiths, they took our tradesmen.
Right.
They took every one of us that could contribute to our economy. And guess what they did with the poor?
Left them
in the land.
Okay.
So it's not so much about you, it's about what you can do, what you're going to contribute to their economy. Right? The bottom line for the heathen is always money.
Right. Okay, Adawan. I see.
Yes,
I see.
Always.
Come, I see.
Right. So but our scripture, it does tell us about money too. But when you read our laws, you realize that it put us in control of money and not money in control of us. When money is in control of you, you get up this morning, you're not feeling good, you got to go to work. right? You get up this morning, there is something else that you is pressing you that you want to do, but you gotta go to work. When you are in control of money, you are able to get up today. I can't make it to work. I'm going to make my servant do the job. I'm going to call my servant and tell them what to do today because I can't come in. Well, guess who is the servant that they're going to call? It's us.
Yeah.
Now, what this system has done is come in with some laws that you can say, all right, yeah, you can't work, you cannot work the slaves straight like that. If they are sick, give them at least 3 days. Give them a day. If you notice, in the Bible, we don't have those kind of labor laws. What we have is a Sabbath, which is why, if you notice, the Sabbath is for you, the Israelite. It says you cannot work your workers on that day.
Right.
You want to work, you go on. But you cannot work the workers, which is why Christ gave the example. If your mule fell into a ditch on the Sabbath, you are going to take him out.
Right, right, right.
Christ didn't say you're going to let your workers take them out. He said, wouldn't you take your mule out of the ditch if it should fell in the ditch on the Sabbath? Are you going to leave it until the next day? You hypocrite.
Come.
Right. So understanding business is and understanding warfare. It's basically the same. You know? If you notice, our laws let us know that we are at war, and the war that you are at, you are the commercial prize for the Eden's business.
You're right.
Slavery was about labor, you know. This 400 years of slavery we went is about labor.
Free labor, I don't want.
Yeah, not paying you for your work, your due. When they have to pay you, they say, "Oh, you're lazy." When you were getting my labor for free, I wasn't lazy then.
Right.
So one of the things that happened during after the apprenticeship thing in Jamaica, the ex-slaves begin to learn not to trust the oppressor. So when they would approach them with many things, they don't say, I'm not going to work for you because you're not paying me. So they start to say, now, these N-word people, they're lazy. But it wasn't lazy, the people, they were lazy. They just realized that you are a snake. I'm going to work for you and you're not going to pay me.
Right.
That's what they realize.
Right.
So, they withheld their labor. But they let it seem, because they want to bring in other nations to oppress us, so they let it seem as if we were the ones who didn't want to go to work, when they are not telling you that they were the ones who weren't paying you when you were to be paid.
Of course.
Right. So funding your business, this is the main thing, because they came up with a plan and thing. At the end of the day, when it comes to how you're going to get it done, they use the slaves. All right, next point. Under funding, it costs money to start your business. How do you choose to fund your business will determine how you structure and run your business. If you notice, our law says what? The people shall take them and bring them into their land to be what?
Servants and handmaids, that one.
Thank you. So what are we going to be having them to be servants for?
To build up our
them.
to like you, sir.
Yeah, we better make some money off them.
Right. Okay. Come.
Yeah. Fund one way in which you can fund your business. You can fund your business yourself from your savings, or some people have some assets that they, sometimes maybe you inherit some things from your parents or others.
Mm-hmm.
Some people end up finding themselves with two houses. Maybe they got one, maybe they work and buy both. Then they want to do business. You could sell one. Some people have more than two. Can sell one. Liquidate some assets. Sell one of the cars. Sell something that could pump some money in your new business. Ever hear the term venture capital?
Concert.
Right. Venture capital.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you get others to invest in the business. They call them venture capitalists. It has its drawback because even though the idea is yours and you are so passionate about your business idea,
the
venture capitalist is going to own 51% of your business until he gets back his money that he pumped in the business.
Okay.
So in other words, he has the control majority. So if you are steering in the business in a way that he doesn't like, he can step in and do otherwise.
Come.
Yeah, so by law, he has the right for at least 51% of the ownership of a business.
The majority.
So that separates you and your passion now for that business.
Yeah.
That's the drawback. You can get business loan. They have small business loan, but you have to be careful of high interest rates. High interest rates is the next thing in which the oppressors use to kill startup businesses among blacks. Yeah. You just starting a business and you're gonna have to pay 20% on the money that you are borrowing. You understand? And some of them hide the fact that they are paying. They tell you 10%. That's what they pay over the period of time. 10%. I remember it's per annum. But what they do is to impose on you processing fees and other kind of fees that they charge to you for processing the loan, which when you add that to it, the percentage is higher than what they are telling you. Now there's a term in our scripture for that. We're going to touch that as well. Next way we can fund it is, a small business investment program, which comes mainly from government. Right now, I haven't heard much about those things again in Jamaica. Small business investment programs. Sometimes they give grants, but in wherever they are, whenever the government is, you hear them say they have business grant or whatever. It generally goes to the party in power, the supporters of those parties. Don't be fooled. If you're not in the right colors, you ain't getting crap. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you can go public and go on the stock exchange and get the fool's money.
Yeah.
You sell shares, right? You can also get from a friends. Friends can sometimes you can sometimes borrow from friends, but I mean, how many friends do we as a people know who is willing to lend money and then in the crap? But anyway, you can get from friends. Now, there is one thing here to talk about crowdfunding. I put a question sign beside it because them things don't work in Jamaica. I don't know if it work in the States. So crowdfunding is like, all right, take for instance, you have your personal TikTok page, right? And you have $1 million. You have $1 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I have a business venture. I'm asking all my followers for $1.
Okay,
And then each of them willingly give you the $1. Right, that's crowdfunding.
Okay.
Then you work out some incentive of what you can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift, so you won't be paying it back. But in encouraging them to give you might say, okay, this is what I will be doing for those of you who donate something.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Okay.
That's crowdfunding. And I've never seen that work in Jamaica. I don't know if it has ever worked. When you read stories about Marcus Garvey, Marcus Garvey was able to get funding for his business ventures.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's what they looked at back then and say, hey, we can't let these people get money so easy. Let's make the way hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did become hard to get funding after that. In those days, they were able to do. But then again, blacks were striving. Those were the days when you had Black Wall Street and the black communities, which they turn around and attack.
It's a lucky, sir.
Yeah.
And the black dollar circulated within the black community many more times than it does today.
Thank you. Because restaurants, you had black businesses, restaurants.
Come on, sir.
The tailor, the dressmaker, dry clean.
Right.
Those were businesses that were within the black community, owned by black people.
Come on.
Yeah. To kill the restaurants, they came up with the fast food. Who owned the fast food? Small arts owned the fast food. No black man who owned no fast food restaurant.
Forget about
it. Yeah. And once you give your money to the fast food, they don't buy any raw material for the fast food from any of the black communities. It's all supplied by their people.
Yeah.
And if their people don't have it to supply, they find another race, not you.
Not us, huh?
But these stores are within your community. When we had our businesses, black business within our community, what you had, the raw material, and that was when the money was circulating within the community, because the restaurant, it would require certain kind of foods which a farmer in the community would grow, right? You buy things from the convenience store that he used in his restaurant, and that convenience store is owned by some other black person. Blacks were making strides. But this is how you know that there was a direct attack on the economy structure of the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Damn.
Make no mistake about it. All right, so the scripture now, which tells us about the dangers of taking a loan. Give me Deuteronomy 23, 19 and 20.
Okay. Common concert. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother.
All right, look in the dictionary for that word, usury.
Common concert. Usury.
Is Deuteronomy what again?
Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 19. Okay, I got it, Adawan. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother.
Yeah, the meaning of usury. What does usury mean?
Common usury, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of usury is the lending of money with an interest charged for its use. And then here's another one that says, especially the lending of money at exorbitant interest rates.
All right.
That
So
sounds like
we were forbidden to do what?
so like it's
What were we forbidden to do?
to loan our brothers and sisters money with interest, charging them interest on it.
What? Now, where can you get that today?
The bank.
I mean, money without interest?
I don't know. I don't want maybe if I borrow from you.
No institution out there to give you that. Right.
Like it.
No. So the usury, them high interest rate, if you notice the personal loan that the bank say, oh, you're pre-qualified for a personal loan.
Right.
It's higher than if they were to give you a secured loan.
Okay.
In other words, they are making more money off you. But you wonder what the heck they do with so much money, because these banks still collapse.
Right.
They still go under.
Right.
All right, the next 19 and 20.
Common concert. Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Verse 20. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to do, thy hand to, in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
So this is what I tell you now. These banks, you know, you can see the warfare, that the economic warfare that they bring on us.
Right.
But this is the Most High having a law to prevent us from doing the same thing to each other.
Come on.
And it tells you clearly that you can do it on the heathen.
Come on.
But then says stranger, that's the heathen. But to your brother, you can't do it. Now, these small acts target us this way because they have our laws, and that is what they are doing to us.
Mm-hmm.
Kill us with the high interest rates.
Yeah.
They are the main ones behind the banks. They control the banking system. Right?
Come on, sir.
So that is us being used in the system. So when you start in your business, you know, yeah, if you can get a loan, that you have to watch the interest rate. You can't take it, put it in your business, and think that you are going to survive on that high interest rate. It's going to destroy you. Why is it going to destroy you? It was designed to destroy you.
Mm.
And the Most High knows that interest destroys you, which is why he has made a law against interest.
Dang.
It was designed to destroy you.
That's heavy, out of one.
Yep. All right. So, questions, comments?
I was gonna out of one, I was thinking I lost my train of thought. But Salaki, sir. It'll come back. If it come back to me, I'll bring it out. But right now, I can't recall.
All right. We were talking about usury and not putting high interest rate loans in our startup business. Right. Expecting to pay back those loans from the business.
Mm-hmm.
If you have another source that you think can manage your interest rate, well, good for you, but don't expect the business to pay back those high interest rates. It's going to destroy your business.
Right.
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 So, but if the chain of thought come back and it was a question, I think you can, you know, if we close and you don't remember, you can WhatsApp. Can always
Come on, sir. Salaki.
All right, so good class. And then once more, Tawada for your support. Tawada for showing up.
The water out of one for having me. That when you had mentioned personal loans versus secured loan. You said that
loan.
Right. You said that the personal loans will hurt you more than will
and the secured loan.
Right. Can you explain that?
The interest rate is higher.
Okay. Okay.
And that is the kind of loan that you get drawn before the court and thrown into the jail, into debtor's jail. The secured loan, if you can't pay, they just owe the assets, the one that you use to secure the loan, and nothing else. But when you do personal loan, you can end up going to jail. Plus, the interest rate is much higher than a secured loan. But for some reason, the banks will call you and tell you, "Oh, you have been doing business with us for how long, and you're pre-qualified for a personal loan."
Yeah.
But if you go to that same bank, you same one, with a business plan requiring that same amount of money in funding, you having the asset to secure that loan, they're not giving it. Because you're at war.
Even you said it, even if you don't, no, you said even if you do have assets to secure that loan, they still won't give it to you.
Still not getting it. Unless you were already in that business and have developed some relation with them. For startup, they ain't giving you. But they will give you a personal loan.
They will give you a personal loan, though.
On their books, they're going to write that this loan is for personal use. But when they give it, they tell you, you can do anything you want to do with it. But that interest rate, like I said, is higher. It's much higher. So those are the monies that the banks have making their millions of dollars. That and fees.
It's like Adawan, if I could,
yeah,
they'll give you a loan to be a consumer, but they won't give you a loan to be an entrepreneur.
Nah.
That's the devil the Bible speaks of.
The devil the Bible speaks of. And you know what's the interesting thing? Those bank, if you, whenever we are able to get to the root of banking, I bet you it came from us.
Us loaning to the other nations, though, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because remember, they were in the caves at the time. And then they came up back in the Renaissance period when we were ruling Europe. And then many of our people stupidly start saying, "Oh, of course, they are good white men."
Okay.
Well, maybe they just. I don't think it's today that our people loving those snow bunnies. I mean,
yeah.
And that's what took them.
Okay.
The black man's kryptonite.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
You know.
So they have used that banking system to destroy us. But we are to learn it because we're going to do the same thing back to them. Scripture then says, do them double what they do to us.
Come.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
we're going to learn it again.
Come. I'm looking forward to it, Adawan.
Right. So, like I said, to the listeners for being there. Well, tonight we went, the reasoning was good. The lessons were, very interactive.
Come on, sir.
We normally go like an hour and a half. We're gone over 2 hours now. It was good.
It don't even seem like it's been 2 hours though.
Right. So, you know, to our people, you know, you need to find yourself in the truth, pay your tithes, and remember our Passover.
Right.
Until we meet again, I say, where's the Passover again? Durham, North Carolina. Right?
I'm gonna pull it up to be exact.
All right, I'm gonna play the what do you call it again?
It's
the advertisement.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the advertisement. 55th annual Passover. All right. So, super, you know, to order for showing up, and to our listeners, to order for listening. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our channels. And you know, we hope that the truth found roots in you. And why we do it this way, we're letting you know that our people believe that they can say, oh, they don't want to hear anything about Bible, you know, money may I pray. I'm just focusing on money, not knowing that's the very thing that is going to destroy you. Because it was designed to destroy you. Yep. That's what you're a slave for. The thing you're a slave for. Your pretty looks, you're a slave for money. All right, Shalom, Mark.
Shalom, Adawan. Yahweh Shimi Habashah Barakatah, sir.
Yahweh Shimi Habashah Barakatah, warrior.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General YAHANNA, presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is wrapped